Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and General Dempsey, thank you also. Every time we say goodbye to you, you come back in another week on another panel, and I know it's not by choice, but we're thrilled to have you here again. Thank you very much for your service. Mr. Secretary, Secretary of Energy, if a year from now we have suspicions that something is going on at Parchin, does the IAEA have access to go inside that building and see it or not?
Well, again, we certainly have, through the additional protocol and this agreement, access anywhere that there is suspicion of nuclear activity. The protocols, again, I would have to see with the IAEA, but it is certainly a different, forward-looking is very different from resolving the possible military dimensions.
We need to know forward-looking on this, on whether it is Parchin or other military facilities. Does the IAEA have access to go inside those
They
facilities?
certainly must have the access granted to again, resolve the issues that they need to resolve. And they must have integrity in the process.
And if they do not, Senator, they would be in material breach of the agreement.
Okay, so this is different moving forward than what has gone in the past.
Absolutely. It's not only, yes, it is different, and there's a different mechanism to bring it to a close for the 15 years, but even under the additional protocol, speaking to Senator McCain's concern about North Korea, the lesson of North Korea produced the additional protocol, and now there's the additional protocol and the modified code, which have huge new requirements for access.
Secretary Lew and maybe Secretary Kerry on this, one of the proposals that has been put forward is to say no to this deal, and then to tell the other countries who are involved in regards to sanctions that a viable alternative is to simply say to France, Germany, Britain, and others, choose us or choose them as you move forward economically, that you know, if you're going to continue to do business with Iran, then you can't do business with us. Do you see that as viable moving forward?
Senator, we do have powerful tools that make it very dangerous for a foreign business to violate U.S. laws. And if they do business and violate our sanctions, we will enforce. Whether we can do that against the whole world effectively without doing damage to our own economy is something that we have to have serious considerations about. It's one thing when we're taking action in concert with the world. It's another thing if we're standing on our own. So the ability of a technical sanction to work is not the same as it being effective or necessarily adding up to what we would like to accomplish.
Okay, Secretary Carter, have you, I know you're talking to the GCC countries, you have been in the region there. It seems to me that one of the challenges here is confidence. Confidence that they'll be safe, that Israel will be safe. That's what this comes from, is making sure that your child can be safe and sleep safe that night. And that's what Mr. Netanyahu was trying to ensure, and that's what we're trying to ensure. So as you look at it, when you talk to our GCC friends and others, is there any putting together of a plan that says to Iran, not one more inch, that as we move forward, you'll see from year to year to year, that in Yemen, not one more inch, that against Hezbollah there will be massive retaliation if there's actions, that will stand with the Sunni tribal leaders in Anbar to make sure that they have success and will be viable and strong against whatever you know, efforts Iran has in Iraq. To lay out the plan, let people know, let Iran know in advance would help create, I think, a better sense of confidence that there's a reason to stand with us.
I think that's extremely important, and that is what the GCC countries are looking for in my conversations with them, namely the continued commitment of the United States to help them protect themselves so they can sleep well at night, maintain our regional role, counter Iran's malign influence and activities. At the same time, they recognize perfectly well what has been set up here, which is an Iran with nuclear weapons would be an enormous problem, and are supportive of an agreement that heads that off. But at the same time, they want to make sure that we're there. That's what the GCC countries were told at Camp David by the president. My trip was in part to solidify all of the things we're doing.
I'm just about out of time, so I just want to finish by saying I think it's important to publicly state a not 1 inch more policy. And then additionally, I am not at all comfortable with our people who are still in Iran. They have to come home. I wish they had come home as part of this agreement. I know you do too. But this cannot rest because we don't leave anybody behind, and we don't intend to leave them behind either. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.